Hi, I'm Elle from Elevate Autism. Okay, so today I want to talk a little bit about ADHD and autism, how they're similar and how they are different. So, many parents notice early developmental differences and are usually told by their pediatricians to just wait and see. But understanding how ADHD and autism spectrum disorder overlap and how they're different can help you to be a better advocate for your child and help you to get the right evaluation for your child. And of course, the right support, which is of paramount importance. So, I'm going to go over a few key similarities between ADHD and autism. So, how ADHD and autism can look similar. Let's first talk about what both types of children may do. So, both ADHD and ASD children may both have trouble paying attention. They also may both act impulsively or have difficulty with self control. They will also or can also experience big emotions or frequent meltdowns. They both can struggle with peer relationships, and they both also may have some sensory sensitivities, such as to noise, texture, clothing, and food. Both ADHD and ASD children can find transitions very, very challenging, as well as any types of changes in their environment. Because of these similarities, autism is often overlooked, especially in very bright and verbal children. So, if you have a child and they are very talkative, but they're showing some of these things, the pediatrician may automatically say, oh, it's ADHD, but it may be autism. So let's talk about some key differences parents often notice. And when it comes to social interaction, let's start there. So with ADHD, an ADHD child wants to make friends. They may interrupt and talk too much or miss social cues when they're interacting socially. But the difference between them and children on the spectrum is that their social skills often improve when their attention improves. So that is something that they typically will mature out of. However, with autism, these children, when it comes to social language, have difficulty understanding social rules. So they may not notice like facial expressions, tone, body language. And oftentimes their conversations may feel like it's one-sided, like they only want to talk about what they want to talk about, and it might sound very scripted. You don't typically find that in children with ADHD. Let's talk about communication overall. So in children with ADHD, speech and language development is usually typical. However, they may talk fast or change topics or even forget details. That is very common in children with ADHD. But in children with autism, about 75 to 80% of them may have delayed speech and language. They may have difficulty with back and forth conversation. They also may block out questions, commands, even their name. And they often interpret language very, very literally. You don't see that in children with ADHD. When it comes to interest and play, children with ADHD enjoy many different activities. Their interests change often, and they usually like to be moving. They seek movement and stimulation. In children with autism, they have very focused and intense interests. We call them special interests. So they don't like a whole lot of different things. Many of them may repeat the same pattern even when they're playing. So they may stack the blocks the same way, organize all the colors, and they have a strong preference for routines. When it comes to sensory experiences, a child with ADHD, their sensory needs may change from day to day. They often use movement or fidgeting to stay focused, okay? But they're using it to stay focused. With autism, their sensory sensitivities are strong and consistent. They don't change from day to day. Lights, sounds, textures, or foods may cause distress and meltdowns. So they're not able to cope with those things the way a child with ADHD copes with, things that are not necessarily sensory preferred. So the golden question that I'm often asked is, can a child have both ADHD and autism? And the answer, of course, is yes. Many children meet the criteria for both ADHD and ASD. This is common and can be a valid co-diagnosis. However, ADHD can often mask autism, if that makes sense. So that's why I'm kind of making sure this video kind of breaks down the things that an ADHD child would not do. Now I'm going to go over when you should ask your pediatrician for a developmental evaluation if you are concerned about autism. Because a lot of times a pediatrician will just say your child is ADHD and then there's no evaluation. But be concerned if social challenges continue even when their attention improves. Be concerned if language sounds off, social language is off. Be concerned if your child has rigid routines or repetitive behaviors, repetitive play behaviors. Be concerned if your child has sensory reactions that interfere with daily life, like they can't go on if their sensory system is not right. And be concerned if you've had concerns since the child was very, very young. I want to empower you to understand that you do not need to wait for a pediatrician to see if any of these conditions approved. You can request referrals and get second opinions. And if your pediatrician does not listen to you, you can find another pediatrician, or I would admonish you to do so. I want you as a parent to understand that you are the expert for your child. You are the first expert of your child. And I want you to trust your instincts, okay? Know that an early intervention and an early evaluation leads to early understanding and leads to better support services at a time in which your child's brain is more easily grown, changed, and matured, okay? And habilitated. So if you need help navigating referrals or the next steps, you are not alone. I want you to join Elevate Autism. The link is in the bio. If you need some support with getting your pediatrician to listen to you, I also offer live consultations and ASD recommendations as well. But Elevate Autism is such a great community. I don't want you to miss out. I want you to be in it. It's completely free. You can come in there and ask as many questions as you want, as well as get parent support from other parents who have children on the spectrum, like me. All right, so that's it for my video for today. I hope that it was informative and helpful for you, and I'll see you on the inside. Have a great one.